This team went from being a financial disaster to now being the scariest team in Europe. Barcelona right now is that one team no one wants to play against. Even their biggest rivals, Real Madrid, have lost to them twice this season, with a crazy score margin. The Catalan Giants are on a spree right now, topping the league table as of recording this, are in the Champions League quarterfinals, a Copa del Rey semi-final in the balance, and have already won the 2025 Spanish Super Cup. These guys are looking unstoppable, showing the whole football world why they should be feared. Barcelona came into the 2024-25 season looking more fired up than ever. They're playing very differently. And for the fans, very exciting to watch, but for the opponents, terrifying. Coming into the 2024-25 season, the team's manager, Hansi Flick, knew he had to switch things up if his team would dominate. Ball possession and fast-paced attacking football, these are more or less Hansi Flick's trademark. He had taken Barca out of their famous tiki-taka era to a much more deadlier style. But before we get into how this team uses the ball, let's talk about what they do when they're not in possession. For Flick and Barcelona, the defense starts from the attack. They are reinventing the traditions we know and taking counter-pressing to a whole new level. Right from deep in the opponent's half, Barca's wide threats Raphinha and Yamal are a mix of skill, dribbling, and goal-scoring actions. With Raphinha, he's become a pressing monster, chasing opponents down and trying to get the ball as soon as possible. When Raphinha goes in for the aggressive press, the other tries to block the next passing option, usually the closest fullback. And as it happens, Barca's last attacker, Lewandowski, drops deep to mark out the opponent's pivot. With this properly executed, the opponents find it difficult to play from the back. They'll be forced to play a long one into the middle of the pitch, where the rest of Barcelona's players would be eagerly waiting for them. Here is Flick and what he had to say about Barca's new pressing style.
The opponents in the right direction where we want them, so that to win the ball, so we press normally in a good way and maybe sometimes a little bit higher than normal. So it's like this, and with the ball, everyone.
Barcelona's midfielders are also in on this high-intensity press. The midfielders don't stay laid back, but also push into more advanced positions on the pitch. The idea is simple. Keep the ball as far away from the goal as far as possible. Players like Pedri, Casado, and Fermin are excellent pressers. Pedri is just 22 years old. Casado and Fermin are 21. You're getting where this is going. These guys are sprinting machines with unlimited energy. They'll press in for as hard and as long as needed, giving the opponents absolutely no breathing space. And remember, they tried to do this right in the opponent's half. Imagine what it's like for the opponent. And of course, we have to talk about Barca's defenders. As a matter of fact, the positions have been reinvented with Flick. Instead of the centre-backs being the second to the last line of defense, they're now the starting point for the attack. Just like the team presses high up into the pitch, Barca's defense adopts a high-line defense. And this is something we haven't really seen this team do previously. Yeah, we know high-line defense is a high-risk, high-reward kind of thing, with defenders pushing as high as into the halfway line. Adopting this strategy is no joke. But if any team can pull this off correctly, it has to be Barcelona. Alejandro Balde, Inigo Martinez, Jules Koundé, Pau Kubashi are built for this high-line defense. Yeah, they could have been a couple of times this season when some team managed to crack this defensive structure. Like when Real Sociedad stole a 1-0 home victory against Barca on the 4th of November last year. An unexpected head pass that broke Barca's defense line and set Geraldo one-on-one with the goalie. But it's football. No team or tactics is guaranteed a 100% win rate. What matters is how often you win. And for Barca, it's pretty often. This defensive structure saw them win 11 of their first 12 league games, putting them 9 points clear of their biggest rival, Real Madrid. Right from then, we knew that this was a completely different Barcelona. Their pressing intensity and highline defense were the gems they needed all along. The first time they came face to face with Real Madrid, we saw everything play out just fine. Coming into the game, many expected a classic Real Madrid night. Aside from the fact that Real Madrid is the most dominant team in the world, they had a major addition to their roster coming into the 2024-25 season, Kylian Mbappe. Many already guessed how the night would end. Vini, Bellingham, Mbappe, and Rodrigo would run through Barca's defense and get the win for Los Blancos. But With their high-line defense, Real Madrid attackers were caught offside 12 times, with their team's main striker Mbappe counting for 8. It was a horror show for the Madrid team and fans. And to make matters worse, Barcelona weren't only particular about their defense, but also did an amazing job at the attack, scoring 4 goals that night, 4-0. Barcelona trashed their biggest rivals. You see, Barca now presses way better than they've done in years, winning a lot of the balls higher up in the pitch. But what makes this team scary isn't their defense or advanced pressing, but their new style of attack. But before we get into Barca's new style of attack, smashing that subscribe button to Kicks with Seb if you haven't yet already helps the channel reach a wider audience too.
The pitch last night, allowed to watch, hopping the passes around.
Parlant de fa un parell de temporades quan el Barça buscava lateral esquerra, Filipe Luis no va ser jugador blaugrana.
All along, Barca has been known for its beautiful tiki-taka tactic. Many think they even invented this. I mean, the OG players pulled this off so well that you can't but believe that they invented it. Players like Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and Messi, these guys weren't the fastest or the most physical, but they were one of the most technically gifted players in the world. Tiki-taka was the go-to tactic for them. They calmly knocked the ball around from their own to the opposition's goal. And it obviously worked for them, winning countless domestic titles and even going on to win the Champions League and of course the UEFA Super Cup and FIFA World Cup Club. Remember those 2 incredible treble winning seasons, 2008 and 9 and the 2014-15 seasons? It worked well for Barca, but the story slowly started changing when players who made it work started leaving the team. It started with Xavi, then Iniesta, then Messi followed. And of course, Busquets also left. Barcelona was kind of thrown into a bad place. Different managers came along, Ronaldo Koeman, Xavi. These guys tried different things, but nothing really changed. Yeah, there were a couple of domestic title wins here and there, but outside Spain, nothing to show.
Garnacho, Fred, Anthony.
It even got worse when Barca got knocked out of the Champions League and had to play in the Europa League. Barcelona was once the deadliest team in the world, playing in the Europa League. And to make matters worse, they still didn't win it. Manchester United knocked them out in the knockout round playoffs. That right there was the height of Barcelona's downfall. But right now, we're seeing what many regard as Barca in their strongest form. Hansi Flick has successfully taken the team out of its tiki-taka era and now put them in their next success phase. Instead of multiple short passes, they now attack with fewer but with more progressive passes. Basically, Barca now plays a more direct football. We've been used to seeing them in a 4-3-3 formation, but Hansi switched things up. The team now uses a 4-2-3-1. Pedri and Casado playing as a pivot in the middle. Behind them, they have centre-backs, Kubashi and Martinez, always ready to play short passes with them down the middle. And in front of the pivot, a trio of Yamal from the right and Raphinha down the left. And Fermin Lopez or Dani Olmo playing as a 10 right in the middle. And of course, the main goal-scoring threat, Lewandowski playing up front. This setup lets the team play confidently in the middle. Remember, the centre-backs often play in more advanced positions on the pitch. This helps them easily connect with the pivot in the middle and overload the midfield. While this is happening, it gives the fullbacks, Koundé and Balde, opportunities to advance forward, and of course, the wingers Raphinha and Yamal more flexibility up front. And you know how it is. Flexible and unpredictable wingers are very hard to play against. With a team set up like this, the priority isn't how many passes they can make, but how fast they can get the ball into the opposition's danger zone. We often see wingers making those dashing runs into the opposition's defenders' blind spots, especially after Lewandowski drops deep to create space behind him, just like he set up Yamal for the equalizer against Real Madrid in the Spanish final. The whole idea is to get into the opposition's box as soon as they can. Aside occasional crosses that come in from the flanks, with a player with exceptional passing range like Pedri, the team also uses long passes to get the ball to the attackers, especially when they seem stuck in their half. Pedri's forward crosses into the box are just as lethal as Raphinha's speed and Yamal's dribbling. Take a look at how Pedri brilliantly used a cross to split Valencia's defense and set Fermin through on goal.
Последним в турнирной таблице. И вот как раз после этого поражения Валенсия опустилась на последнюю строчку. Неужели 3-0 уже на Валенсия в этом сезоне? Еще раз, Фермин Лопес имел статистику 2+2 в первом матче. И не в порядке Мухтар Диакаби.
While Pedri focuses on getting the ball into the opposition zone either by his long passes or even by dribbling into it, his partner, Casado, focuses on the more dirty job. His tackles are simply godlike, and together these guys balance Barcelona's midfield. And for Barca's attacking trio, Yamal, Lewandowski and Raphinha, there's not much to say really. They have formed one of the deadliest attacking trios in Europe. The last time we saw Barca with an attacking trio this scary was in the MSN era.
Look who it is. It's Raphinha again. Oh, he scored again. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Ahí lo tienes.
Raphinha relies more on his directness and speed to not only get into the advanced positions to cross the ball in, but also to cut inside and make those penetrating runs.
Lamine Yamal beats Carreras this time.
Yamal, on the other hand, also very direct and quick, leans more towards using skill moves to get past defenders.
Comes across the far post. Not an in by Lewandowski. It's good though.
And Lewandowski, this guy is one of the greatest strikers of our time. He came into this team to help with goals, and he's doing just that. He's currently the highest goal scorer in the league, slightly above Madrid's Kylian Mbappe. But one thing that makes this attacking trio really deadly is how unpredictable they are. Many times we see either Yamal or Raphinha drift into the middle of the pitch, while the fullbacks behind them push further up, making Barca's attack a lot more dynamic than it already is. Barcelona right now is one of the few teams you can guarantee would score in their games, no matter the opponent. They've had really crazy games this season. The next time they met Real Madrid was the Spanish final, and while many thought Madrid would take this opportunity to show the world why they should never be looked over, Barcelona once again crushed the men in white with a thrilling 5-2 victory, even after Mbappe put his side in the front just 2 minutes into the game. This season alone, Barca has faced Madrid twice and has scored 9 goals against them. We also have to talk about their crazy game against Atletico Madrid. By the 70th minute, Diego Simone's men were 2 goals up. It looked like Barca would stomach a loss that night. But it's Barca. Until you hear the final whistle, it's not over. In about 20 minutes, Barca scored 4 goals to win the game 4-2. Barca is currently the most dominant team in Spain and one of the most dominant in Europe. They are currently on track to winning La Liga as they currently sit on the top of the table, and of course, they're looking to win the Champions League for the first time since 2015. Can they go all the way? Can they win these titles, or will Real Madrid snatch these from them? Let us know what you think in the comments down below.